What's up YouTube, this is JP Panther back on a video, and today's video is going to be another Marvel and Star Wars discussion video. And it's going to be a fun, interesting video because now that I have seen Rise of Skywalker and I've seen Avengers Endgame, so I could kind of give you my thoughts about the two movies. And this video is about which ending is better, Avengers Endgame or Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And I will let you guys know that this video will contain spoilers in The Rise of Skywalker and in Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame, I know everyone's seen it already. If you guys have not seen Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, please leave this video and then go see the movie, then come back and watch this video, and then you guys can have your discussions and stuff like that. So this video will contain spoilers. So let's get into it right now. So which one did I think had the better ending, Rise of Skywalker or Avengers Endgame? And I'm going to give you my thoughts and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Avengers Endgame had a better ending, a conclusion, movie saga ending than Rise of Skywalker. And I'll try to explain, right? Avengers was planned, let's be honest. You had 2008 with Incredible Hulk and Iron Man. It was very planned out. You had Kevin Feige. You had all these hardcore comic book directors and fans and stuff like that. You had people that were true fans of the material, and it didn't really feel like a corporate cash grab. And it was planned out from 2008 to 2019. They're going to go from, Iron Man, then they go from Avengers, then Avengers you had Thanos at the very first post-credit scene, then Infinity War, and then Infinity Gauntlet, but instead of calling it Infinity Gauntlet, they call it Endgame because it just sounds better and it's just better marketing, stuff like that. And it just was a good conclusion to an ending to a 23 movie, 11-year movie saga that was that really was for the hardcore comic book fans, and it feels like it was made for us. You feel me? Marvel and Disney, they really appeal to the comic book fans first, and then the casual movie audience, stuff like that, because we rock with Marvel, we rock with Disney and stuff like that. And also, our fan base is a lot more progressive and inclusive and stuff like that. So, we build up the energy and hype on YouTube and social media and stuff like that, and the casuals and the normies and stuff like that absorbs that energy and that that hype as well, and then they rush to go see the movie theater. So I think Endgame to me had a better conclusion ending than Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker, I'm gonna be honest with you, or just even this whole entire Disney trilogy, it really feels like a cash grab, because the problem is a lot of it feels like, okay, we're gonna have 3 different directors with 3 different movies. Force Awakens was a ripoff. First of all, let's be honest, right? This Disney trilogy or sequel trilogy, whatever you want to call it, it's a very corporate cash grab. It feels like it's made by committee. It feels like Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger has more of a political feminist agenda rather than try to appeal to your hardcore audience and try to make them happy first before you try to go after the casual, the white women, the Me Too movement, and all these other demographics that may or may not care to your movie, and you're trying to get a 3rd generation instead of appealing to the generation 1 to the prequel generation and the sequel, the original trilogy generation. But I feel like this Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, it just feels like a corporate cash grab. It doesn't feel like it was made. It was just made to. Those 3 movies were just made to make money, and it feels like you're trying to do it to put a feminist political agenda. And the problem is that it was no plan. It feels like we bought Star Wars. You gotta get this out. Gotta get this out. Gotta get this out. Force Awakens was a ripoff of New Hope. Last Jedi was a very divisive and divided fan base. And Rise of Skywalker, I'll be honest with you, even though I think Rise of Skywalker is a better film than The Last Jedi, the film destroys 42 years of storytelling when it comes to the novels, the comics, the video games, and just gives you a complete middle finger. That's pretty much what they do. And it pretty much, when you watch the conclusion, it feels like it's rushed, it's not planned out. You have Palpatine just popping up, Rey becoming the granddaughter of Palpatine. She pretty much becomes Jesus. She gets every single Jedi, Super Saiyan, God-like power you can think of. And it just feels like, in my personal opinion, that The Rise of Skywalker means, unlike Endgame, it feels like it just gives the hardcore fans the middle finger, rather try to appeal to them and then try to get everybody else as well. It just seems like they're like, we're done with the old. We don't want anything new. We don't no we don't want anything old. We don't want all these old movies trying to hold us back. We're gonna just tear it up, tear it up, tear it up. And it just feels like the way they treat it with Marvel fans, the way they treat it with Star Wars fans. And let's be honest, Star Wars fans aren't the most inclusive fan base. You feel me? Like the fan base. The problem with Star Wars, and I love Star Wars as well. Star Wars is really, let's keep it 100, right? Is a white Republican sci-fi movie franchise, and it's not a franchise or a fan base that's very fighting for diversity and inclusion and stuff like that, unlike Marvel. That's why you have someone like a Kathleen Kennedy goes in there and be like, tear it up, tear it up, tear it up, tear it up, tear it up. Let's make Rey into a Mary Sue. Let's make her the chosen one. Let's have feminism bring balance to the Force. You know, the Force is female, God is a woman, stuff like that. So the problem is, if they were a lot more, to me, I feel like the Star Wars fans were a lot more inclusive and a lot more open to women and minorities leading in these Star Wars films, not just have a white dude like Anakin Skywalker or Luke Skywalker, then you wouldn't have a radical feminist like Kathleen Kennedy coming in there tearing up everything you guys love, just ripping it apart, ripping it apart, ripping it apart. This is like Dragon Ball Z, right? Where Frieza goes in there, destroys the planet Vegeta, and only keeps Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta alive just to make them his slaves. That's pretty much what they've done, except Knights of Old Republic. They destroyed every single thing you love with Star Wars except Knights of Old Republic. So the problem is that with Rise of Skywalker, it just doesn't feel like an ending that is for the hardcore Star Wars fans. It just feels like it's a middle finger, and they're trying to get more of a new demographic. But the problem is, I do feel like this movie will hurt them in the long run. I think it's going to make a bunch of money. I think it's going to make $1 billion, whatever it is. But I do think in the long run, I think it's going to come back and bite them ass, because I don't think these new people that are trying to get after, like the Me Too movement and all these other demographics, I don't think they're going to buy the novels. I don't think they're going to buy the comics. I don't think they're going to buy the merchandise. They might buy a t-shirt or a Funko Pop here or there, but they're not going to be buying it and like buying a bunch of, you know, lightsabers and stuff like that. They're not going to be into the product like the prequel fans or the original trilogy fans are. And I just think this third generation of Disney Star Wars fans are just not going to be into the property like the prequels and original trilogy is. And I just feel like, you know, with the Rise of Skywalker, I just don't think it was I don't think it was a good, I just think it was messy. I just think it was corporate cash grab. I feel like they really didn't plan it out, and they just made Rey the end all be all. And the problem is, unlike like Thanos, where at least Thanos was a cool, dope, amazing villain, Palpatine felt like a very generic, typical, I'm gonna blow up the world, galaxy type thing, and Rey beats him like that. I mean, Rey beats him in like 30 seconds, man, like maybe less than a minute, like around there. Like, they really take out Palpatine like that. Thanos took a whole freaking army. It took a whole Avenger squad just to take him out, and even then it didn't work, because Thanos was still whooping everyone's ass. Iron Man had to grab all the Power Stones, well, the Infinity Stones, snap, sacrifice himself, and destroy his whole entire army and kill Thanos to save the freaking universe. But when it came to Rise of Skywalker, it didn't really feel like it was any stakes, you feel me? It didn't feel like, oh my god, the world was going to blow up. No, as long as you had your Mary Sue Rey, everything was going to be happy and good and stuff like that. And like the First Order or the you know, Palpatine ships, they were very generic. You know what I mean? Like, the villains weren't hard. Like, there was no one that was a badass in the Rise of Skywalker. Kylo Ren, Ben Solo got redeemed. He kisses Rey, then he sacrifices, you know, he does the Force healing kisses, and then he dies. And it's just like, bro, like, this wasn't a good ending compared to Avengers Endgame. And I do feel like, my personal opinion, watching two of the both movies, I feel like Avengers Endgame was more satisfying than Rise of Skywalker. Even though Rise of Skywalker is 42 years, Avengers is 11 years. So you would think that Rise of Skywalker would make Avatar or Avengers Endgame type numbers, and I just don't see people go like people are gonna go see Rise of Skywalker, but they're not into it like Avengers Endgame. You feel me? They're not going crazy. We gotta rush to the theater and we gotta make sure we get this blah blah. People are like, oh, I'll go see whenever. But with Avengers Endgame, it was just that magic, that feeling, that Avengers Assemble type moment. They try to rip off JJ tried to rip off a bunch of Avengers stuff into the Rise of Skywalker. Like it was a rip off of Rise of Skywalker felt like it's a rip off of a bunch of movies. Where Avengers Endgame felt like its own kind of thing. You know, they take some Dragon Ball Z elements, you know, the Dragon Ball Z time travel, the Fourth Grade Ninja War, the Dragon Ball Z Saiyan saga. So instead of having Cell, you have Thanos as the main bad guy and time travel, stuff like that. Freaking Rise of Skywalker feels like it's ripping off every movie. Ripping off Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, Dragon Ball Z, Fairy Tail, Harry Potter, Deadly Hollow Part 2. Like, it just feels like he's just ripping it off, and putting in a movie and just rushing to get out there. And I just don't feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like Avengers Endgame is a better, well thought out, strategic, a movie that's really for everybody. Where Rise of Skywalker says, F all the hardcore fans, we're going after the normies, the feminists, the bandwagon fans, the casuals, the Raylo shippers, the LBGT, and people that will spend their hard-earned money over and over and over just to make it past $1 billion to make a strong political feminist statement. And that's just how I view it, and that's just what I think. That's really it, guys. I know this conversation is pretty long, but I had to get this out to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think Avengers Endgame was a better movie or better ending than Rise of Skywalker? Do you think Rise of Skywalker was a better ending than Avengers Endgame? Let me know in the comment section below. Rate and like the video and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace and have a great day and take care and happy holidays.